The most powerful country in the world? What is power, after all? Today we will talk about the most powerful countries in the world. But the question is, what is power? Is power just the name of the military? Or does the economy, politics, technology, and global influence also count as power? When we hear in the news that a certain country is a superpower, or that a certain country is influencing the world, it is not just about guns and missiles behind it, but a complete system, a kind of power that quietly changes the decisions of the world. There are approximately 200 countries in the world, but only a few of them make decisions that affect the entire world. Oil prices change, wars break out, sanctions are imposed, or a new agreement is made. Its effects reach every country. That is why, in this series, we will talk about the 5 countries considered the most powerful in the world in 2025. But before that, it is necessary to understand the basis on which we are measuring power. The first thing is the economy. Without a strong economy, no country can remain powerful for long. A country with a strong economy can provide a better life to its people, modernize its military, invest in research and technology, and also put pressure on other countries. Next comes military power. Army, Navy, Air Force, modern weapons, drone technology, cyber warfare, and most importantly, nuclear capability. Nuclear power is the factor that gives any country a special position on the global stage. The third important factor is political influence. Does the country play a decisive role in international organizations? Does it have many allies? Is its voice heard? The fourth factor is technology and science. In today's world, the country that leads in technology is the ruler of the future. Artificial intelligence, space research, cybersecurity, advanced weaponry, all of these have now become the new weapons of power. And finally comes geographical location and resources. Some countries are rich in natural resources, while some have geographical positions that give them special advantages in global trade and politics. Now that we have understood the criteria for power, let's take a look at history. Power has never been permanent. There was a time when the sun never set on the British Empire. Then came the time when the United States emerged as the greatest power in the world. The Soviet Union collapsed, yet Russia is still a major military power today. China quietly surprised everyone by becoming the world's second-largest economy. India has emerged as a rising power. The power of the world is always in motion, sometimes shifting to one side, sometimes to the other. In 2025, the world stands at a time when old powers are trying to maintain their positions, and new powers are quietly rising. In this series, we will neither praise nor criticize any country, but analyze based on facts. We will see which country is truly powerful and why. We will discuss their economy, their military, their nuclear capability, their technology, and their global influence, so that you can decide for yourself who is truly the most powerful in the world. In the next episode, we will go into detail about each country. First, the country that is still called the world's greatest superpower today. The country whose decisions change the direction of the world. The country whose currency circulates all over the world, and whose military is considered the most powerful in the world. If you like this series, then subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment on who you think is the most powerful country in the world. America, the world's greatest superpower when the world talks about power. The first name that comes to mind is the United States, a country whose decisions are not limited to its borders, but affect the entire world. Why is the United States so powerful? Is this power only because of its military? Or is there a long history, a strong economy, advanced technology, and a deep game of global politics hidden behind it? Let's understand the power of the United States from every aspect. The United States was founded in 1776, yet in a very short time, it changed the course of world history. After 2 world wars, the United States emerged as the only country that not only had a strong economy, but also took global leadership into its hands. After World War II, Europe was destroyed, and the United States filled that vacuum. During this period, the United States proved itself as the leader of the world. Today, The population of the United States exceeds 330 million, making it the third most populous country in the world. Its territory is vast, and its geographical position provides natural protection. Two large oceans, weak neighbors, and internal stability all work in favor of the United States. Now, let's talk about the economy, which is the foundation of America's power. Even in 2025, the United States is considered the world's largest economy. Its GDP is in trillions of dollars, and the world's largest companies are based here. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla. These are not just companies, but centers of power. The US dollar is the most powerful currency in the world. A large portion of global trade occurs in dollars, and this gives the United States an extraordinary advantage. Whenever the US wants, it can shake the economy of any country through economic sanctions. Banking systems, stock markets, and investments. America's influence is evident in all of them. But after the economy, what makes the United States most powerful is its military. The United States has the world's most advanced and expensive military. Its defense budget is larger than the combined budgets of many major countries. Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. The U.S. leads in every branch. The U.S. Navy is considered the most powerful navy in the world, with dozens of aircraft carriers capable of projecting power anywhere in the world. When it comes to air power, the U.S. has the most advanced fighter jets, bombers, and drone technology. Its air superiority plays a decisive role in any war. And then comes nuclear power. The United States was among the first countries to develop nuclear weapons, and even today, it possesses thousands of nuclear weapons. Its missile systems, submarines, and long-range bombers make it invincible. But modern warfare is not fought only with guns and bombs. Today, war is a battle of technology. The United States is also at the forefront in this field. Artificial intelligence, cyber warfare, satellite networks, and space technology all are under U.S. control. NASA, SpaceX, and advanced space projects give the United States superiority in space as well. Without satellites, today's world could come to a halt, and the United States plays the most prominent role in this. Now let's talk about global politics. The United States plays a decisive role in institutions like the United Nations, NATO, IMF, and the World Bank. Its allies are present in every region of the world: Europe, Asia, the Middle East. In military alliances like NATO, the United States is the backbone. If the U.S. steps back, NATO's power is cut in half. But where there is power, there is also opposition. America's biggest rivals are China and Russia. These three powers are pushing the world toward a new Cold War-like environment. Now, let's talk about the internal weaknesses of the United States. Although the United States is very powerful, it is not perfect. Internal political divisions, racial issues, economic inequality, and rising debt all pose challenges for America. Its interventions in the world are also questioned. Many countries consider the United States as the world's policeman, while others see it as the root of problems. Despite this, in 2025, the United States is still the world's most powerful superpower. Its power is not only in weapons, but in its system. A system that combines economy, military, politics, and technology together. But the question is, will the United States always remain this way? Or is the world moving toward a new balance of power? China, the quietly emerging global power earlier. We talked about the country that has been the world's greatest superpower for decades. But today, we will talk about the country that has quietly shaken the balance of global power without making any noise. This power did not emerge from a single war. This power was not built on slogans. This power has been built through planning, patience, and long-term thinking. This is China. If you go 40 years back from today, China was a poor, underdeveloped country entangled in internal problems. But today, in 2025, China is the world's second largest economy. And according to many experts, in the coming time, it could even surpass the United States. The question is, how did China achieve all this? China's population is both its greatest strength and its biggest challenge. With a population nearing 1.4 billion, China is the most populous country in the world. Such a large population means a massive labor force and a huge market. China has turned this population into its power. Now, let's talk about the economy, which is the real story of China's rise. China is called the factory of the world. From your mobile phones to clothes, from electronics to machinery, most of the world's products are made in China. Through cheap labor, fast production, and government control, China has exponentially increased its exports. Its economy is not just domestic, but is connected to the global economy. The Belt and Road Initiative is China's project that has stunned the world. Asia, Africa, Europe, China is building roads, ports, railways, and infrastructure. On the surface, these are developmental projects, but in reality, they are China's way of increasing global influence. Where China invests, its influence follows. But China's power is not limited to the economy. Now let's talk about military power. China's military is considered the largest army in the world. It has millions of trained soldiers, and its arsenal of advanced weapons is rapidly increasing. China is especially focusing on its naval power. Its activities in the South China Sea are a cause of concern for the entire world. Creating islands, establishing military bases, and strengthening its presence all are part of China's long-term strategy. China has also made significant advancements in air power. Modern fighter jets, drone technology, and missile systems. China is no longer behind anyone. And then comes nuclear power. China is quietly but steadily advancing in the nuclear arms race. Its missile systems, long-range capabilities, and advanced defense systems make it a serious global power. What is unique about China is that it expands its military power quietly, and the world only realizes it when it has already reached a new stage. Now let's move to technology, where China has surprised everyone. There was a time when made in China was considered low quality, but today China is among the world's leading countries in technology. Artificial intelligence, facial recognition, 5G technology, electric vehicles, and space programs. China is present everywhere. Huawei, Alibaba, Tencent. These are not just companies, but pillars of power. China has used technology not only for development, but also for control. Digital surveillance, data control, and cyber power all are part of China's system. Now, let's talk about global politics. China presents itself as an alternative global leader. It says that it does not wage wars like the West, but builds relationships through development. Africa, the Middle East, Latin America. China is investing everywhere, without too many political conditions, which is why many countries are leaning toward China. But where influence grows, concerns also rise. China's neighboring countries are cautious about its growing power. The Taiwan issue, South China Sea disputes, and border tensions with India all are major challenges for China. Now, let's talk about China's internal weaknesses. China's political system is based on strict control. Freedom of expression is limited, and questions about human rights arise worldwide. Despite economic growth, China faces issues like an aging population, increasing debt, and internal inequality. But China's greatest strength is its long-term thinking. It plans 10 years, 20 years, even 50 years ahead, while many countries only think until the next election. In 2025, China has become a power that cannot be ignored. It is a country that neither openly challenges the United States nor retreats. It is quietly moving forward. The question is, will China become the world's greatest superpower in the coming time? Or will its internal weaknesses slow down its pace? Russia, raw power, and the politics of fear. There are some powers in the world that exert influence quietly, and some that create fear just by their existence. Russia is one of them. In terms of area, Russia is the largest country in the world. Its borders stretch from Europe to Asia, and this vastness makes it a geographically unique power. To understand Russia's power, we must start with its geography. Cold climates, long borders, and natural barriers. All of these have protected Russia from external invasions. History bears witness that whether it was Napoleon or Hitler, Russia's land exhausted every major invader. Russia's population is relatively small, yet it has a trained and resilient military. This is a military that knows how to fight even in the harshest conditions. Now, let's talk about military power, which is Russia's true identity. Russia is counted among the world's largest military powers. It has modern tanks, artillery, missile systems, and a military industry that has been producing war equipment for decades. Russia's distinctive feature is its missiles. Hypersonic missiles, long-range rockets, and advanced defense systems all make Russia a dangerous adversary. In terms of air power, Russia is also not behind anyone. Its fighter jets and bombers are recognized worldwide. Russian air defense systems are used by several countries, which is a sign of trust in its technology. But Russia's real power lies in its nuclear capability. Russia possesses the largest number of nuclear weapons in the world. This is the power that makes Russia an unignorable country on the global stage. Nuclear submarines, long-range missiles, and systems on permanent alert all are part of Russia's deterrence policy. Russia knows that it cannot compete with the US or China in the economy, so it has made military power and nuclear deterrence its identity. Now let's talk about the economy. Russia's economy is limited, but its foundation is built on very strong resources: oil, gas, coal, and minerals. Russia uses these resources to influence the world. Russia's role in Europe's energy needs was once very significant. Using energy as a weapon has been a major strategy of Russia. But sanctions, wars, and global pressure have also affected the Russian economy. Despite this, Russia has not allowed itself to completely collapse. Now let's move to politics and global influence. Russia presents itself as an alternative power to the West. It views NATO expansion as a threat, and under this thinking, it also makes several aggressive decisions. Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and Central Asia. Russia tries to maintain its influence in these regions. Whether it is military intervention in Syria or other conflicts, Russia has proven that it does not just talk, but also knows how to use power. Now let's talk about technology. Russia is not as advanced as the US or China in technology, but its expertise in military technology is remarkable. Cyber warfare, hacking, and digital interference. These are the fields where Russia's name repeatedly comes up. Many countries in the world consider Russia a cyber threat, and this is also a form of power. Now let's look at internal weaknesses. Russia faces issues such as a declining population, economic pressure, and political isolation. International sanctions are slowing down its growth. But the unique thing about Russia is that it does not back down even under pressure. Russia's politics revolve around a strong central leadership, which allows decisions to be fast, but leaves little room for criticism. In 2025, Russia is a power that may not be the richest, may not be the most advanced, but is certainly the most dangerous. It is a country that ignoring it is considered equivalent to inviting war. The question is, will Russia maintain its position in global politics through its raw power? Or will its strength gradually diminish over time? Next, we will talk about the country that, with a combination of population, economy, and military, has quietly become a major global power. A country that is no longer just a regional power. Next, we will talk about India. India, population, economy, and emerging power. The map of global power is changing rapidly, and in this changing world, one name is continuously rising: India. A country that was once considered only a regional power, today asserts its weight in global politics, economy, and military balance. India's greatest strength is its population. With more than 1.4 billion people, India has become the most populous country in the world. This population is on one hand a huge market, and on the other hand a vast labor force. If used in the right direction, this very population can make India a superpower. Now let's talk about the economy. India is among the world's rapidly emerging major economies. In 2025, India's economy is continuously growing, and according to several estimates, in the coming years, it could be among the world's top 3 economies. The IT sector, software, startups, and the service industry are the key pillars of India's economic growth. Major global technology companies consider India an important market and talent pool. Indian engineers and experts work across the world, which strengthens India's soft power. But alongside its economy, India's military power is also rapidly growing. India has one of the largest armies in the world. Army, Navy, and Air Force. In all three branches, India is continuously moving towards modernization. India is especially focusing on its naval power because its geographical location in the Indian Ocean gives it a natural advantage. In air power as well, India is working on modern fighter jets, drone technology, and missile systems. Now let's talk about nuclear power. India is a nuclear power, and its missile program has given it strategic superiority in the region. Long-range missiles and a deterrence policy all are part of India's security strategy. What is special about India is that it presents its nuclear power responsibly on a global scale, which is why many countries trust it. Now let's move to technology and science. India has also become a significant name in space research. Low-cost satellite launches, moon and Mars missions, all are proof of India's scientific capabilities. Digital India, fintech, and e-governance are also strengthening India's internal system. India is using technology not only for development, but also for global influence. Now let's talk about global politics. India follows a balanced foreign policy. It maintains relations with the United States, also with Russia, and is increasing its presence in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. India does not limit itself to a single bloc, and this is what makes it a smart power. But India also faces major challenges: poverty, infrastructure issues, education, and health. All these internal challenges affect India's pace. Regional conflicts, especially tensions with neighboring countries, pose continuous security concerns for India. Despite this, India's greatest strength is its potential, a potential that has not yet been fully realized. In 2025, India is an emerging power, which may not yet be a full superpower, but is certainly a strong candidate for that role in the future. It is a country that the world is watching closely. Next, we will talk about the country that is small in population, but very big in influence. A country that is a balanced mix of military, diplomacy, and nuclear power. Next, we will talk about France. France, Europe's strategic power. There are some countries in the world whose population is not large, nor is their territory vast, but their influence is far greater than their size. France is one of these countries. For centuries, France has been an important center of global politics, wars, and diplomacy. Its history is not limited to Europe alone, but extends to Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. This historical influence still strengthens France's global standing today. Now, let's talk about the economy. France is among the largest economies in Europe. Its economy is built on modern industry, technology, and strong infrastructure. Aviation, energy, luxury brands, and the defense industry all are key pillars of France's economic power. Projects like Airbus are not only a symbol of European cooperation, but also proof of France's industrial capability. But France's real power is not limited to the economy. Now let's talk about military power. France has one of the most advanced and professional militaries in the world. Army, Navy, and Air Force. France is strong in all three branches. France's naval power gives it influence over the seas, and its military bases are located in various parts of the world. In terms of air power, France's fighter jets are used worldwide, which is a recognition of its defense technology. Now let's talk about nuclear power. France is the only country in Europe with a fully autonomous nuclear deterrent. Nuclear submarines, missile systems, and strategic planning all make France a serious global power. This is why France is given special importance in global decision-making. Now let's move to global politics. France is a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, where it has veto power. This alone places it among the few decision-making countries in the world. France's role in Africa is particularly significant. In many African countries, France's language, culture, and military influence are still present today. France also plays a central role within the European Union. It has consistently tried to make Europe an independent defense power so that Europe does not rely entirely on anyone else. Now, let's talk about technology and science. France is among the world's leading countries in nuclear energy. A large portion of its energy comes from nuclear power, which makes it energy secure. Space research, defense technology, and modern engineering all are part of France's scientific capabilities. Now let's move to internal challenges. France faces issues like unemployment, inflation, and social tension. The refugee problem and political divisions affect its internal stability. But despite this, France has never decided to step back from its global role. In 2025, France is a power that is low in noise, but high in influence. It is a country that may not be a superpower, but many global decisions are not possible without it. Next, we will talk about the country that is geographically small, but historically, militarily, and diplomatically very significant. The country that ruled the world for centuries. Next, we will talk about the United Kingdom. United Kingdom, history, influence, and quiet power. There are some powers in the world that make little noise today, but the world they built still runs the same way. The United Kingdom is one of these powers. There was a time when it was said that the sun never set on the British Empire. From Asia to Africa, from America to Australia, a large part of the world, in some way, was under British influence. Although that empire has now ended, its influence is still clearly visible in the world system today. Now let's talk about the economy. The United Kingdom is still among the world's largest economies. London is one of the most important financial centers in the world. Banking, insurance, the stock market, and global investments all form the foundation of the UK's economic power. The British economy relies more on the service sector than industry, and this gives it a central position in the global financial system. Now let's talk about military power. The United Kingdom has a professional and modern military. Although its army is not very large in number, training, technology, and experience make it an effective power. The British Navy has been counted among the world's most powerful naval forces for centuries. Even today, it has modern aircraft carriers and the capability to operate globally. In terms of air power, the United Kingdom has modern fighter jets and strong cooperation with NATO. Now let's talk about nuclear power. The United Kingdom is a nuclear power, and its nuclear deterrent is mostly sea-based. Nuclear submarines are a central part of its security strategy. This capability keeps the United Kingdom among the world's few strategic countries. Now let's move to global politics. The United Kingdom is a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council and holds veto power. This is a position that very few countries have. The United Kingdom's greatest weapon is its diplomacy. Through the Commonwealth, the UK has historical and political ties with dozens of countries around the world. Its relationship with the United States is considered particularly strong, often referred to as the special relationship. Now let's talk about technology and intelligence. The United Kingdom is among the world's most powerful countries in the field of intelligence. Cybersecurity, data analysis, and global surveillance all are part of the UK's quiet power. Modern science, medical research, and higher education all enhance the United Kingdom's soft power. Now let's move to challenges. After Brexit, the United Kingdom faces new economic and political challenges. Leaving the European Union has raised questions about its global role. Additionally, internal political divisions and economic pressures are affecting its pace. But the United Kingdom's unique quality is that it knows how to adapt to circumstances. In 2025, the United Kingdom may not be the most powerful country, but it is still involved in global decision-making. It is a power that still influences the world today through history, diplomacy, and its system. Finally, we will address the question that everyone wants to know the answer to. Who is the real power in the world? Next, we will look at all the powers in a single frame, compare them, and try to understand who holds the future. The true face of global power, comparison, reality, and the future. Now the time has come to look at all the powers in a single frame. The question here is not who is the biggest. The question is who holds the real power. Global power is not built with just one weapon, but is created by multiple elements combined. Some have the economy, some have the military, some have technology, and some have history and diplomacy. Real power is that which can use all of these together. First, let's start with the United States. The United States is still the most complete power in the world today. Economy, military, technology, the dollar, and influence over global institutions all give it a unique position. The real reason for America's power is its system. A system that repeatedly, despite shocks, manages to stabilize itself. But America's greatest weakness is its internal division. If it becomes weak from within, its external power can also be limited. Now let's turn to China. China's power is silent, planned, and long-term. Instead of wars, it is connecting the world to itself through the economy. China's greatest weapon is its speed and planning. But its weakness is lack of freedom, internal pressures, and a lack of global trust. If China manages these challenges, it could become the greatest power in the future. Now let's talk about Russia. Russia is the face of power that cannot be ignored. It may not be the richest, may not be the most advanced, but it is certainly the most dangerous. Nuclear weapons, missile technology, and military audacity, these are Russia's identity. Russia's weakness is its weak economy and global isolation. If this circle becomes narrower, Russia's power may be limited to fear alone. Now let's turn to India. India is the future of power, not the present. Population, talent, economy, and geographical location all make it a natural contender. India's real test is to overcome its internal challenges. If it manages education, health, and infrastructure in the coming decades, it could become one of the major powers of the world. Now let's talk about France and the United Kingdom. These two countries are still powerful today, but in different ways. France is strong in military autonomy and diplomacy. The United Kingdom is strong in systems, intelligence, and global relations. These powers may no longer control the world alone, but in global decisions, the picture is not complete without them. Now the real question, in 2025, which is the most powerful country in the world? If we talk about today, the answer is still the United States. But if we look at the future, the picture is not so simple. The world is now moving toward multiple powers, not a single superpower. A world where the United States, China, Russia, and emerging powers will keep each other in balance. This is the new world of power, where wars will not only be fought on the battlefield, but in economy, technology, data, and ideas. Perhaps in the future, no single country will dominate all, but power will be shared. And this is the greatest change. The world has now entered a new era, where power means not just fear, but influence. And influence will belong to those who know how to adapt themselves. This was the complete story of the world's top powers minus 2025. Now the decision is in your hands. In your opinion, who is the real power in the world? Be sure to comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you want us to make the next series on another topic, write that too. This journey does not end here, because the story of power never ends.